Hello everyone, Kevin the Switch Hippie here with another exciting episode of Rescued from the Bargain Bin here at Revealed Records. My GoPro is not working again. That damn thing, it just shuts off. It gets hot and shuts off. So I think it's the sleeve, that module thing that you put on the outside. So we're gonna try this. It works okay recording a song, but when I try to do like this, right, it'll overheat and shut down. So maybe it says something about me, I don't know. So anyways, I did a little diving this weekend. We found a couple things, so we'll share it with you. First thing, this is the Swing Years. It's an 8-album set with every big band person you'd ever want to know in your whole life is here on this record. It was $4.99. I got it half off for Senior Day, and then the lady was like, here, just give me $1 for it, will you? So ACs, they all sound perfect, in perfect condition. I don't think anybody's ever played this record until me. So I put a couple tracks below. I'm not a big band music fan, but I think if you're going to have a big band record, right? I mean, this is it. This is kind of it's got everybody you'd ever want for big band music. I don't know. I mean, it could do with a little bit more Andrews Sisters, but that's okay. That's just me. So next one I got is the Kingston Trio. Of course, the Kingston Trio. We're all familiar with them, and I haven't listened to that record yet. But I mean, I've heard it before, but I haven't listened to that one. We're not gonna do this one. This one here, and this is a really cool one, I thought. This is the Soundsville. A stereo spectrum means mono, but it's this is on Design Records, right? And Design was a division of Pickwick, and John Cale and Lou Reed were studio musicians for Pickwick Records, right? And they show up here on as the Beach Nuts and also as the Roughnecks. And you can hear Lou Reed, because I was listening to, I've never heard any of these guys before. I'm listening to them like, wow, that sounds really familiar. I did a little research, boom, Lou Reed and John Cale. To me, like, it sounded like a Velvet Underground record, some of this, right? And you're like, whoa, cool. Anyways, it's good sounding. Pretty good condition for this tape. Of course, I hate the masking tape, but we got to deal with it. Interesting record. I'll put a cut below. The Beach Nuts with Lou Reed and John Cale. These next guys, I've never even heard of these guys. You know, I'm going to do an episode on people I've never heard of. I think I'm an aficionado. I'm not dumb, right? But sometimes there's just these bands I've never heard of, these entertainers. Anyway, such as this Joe and Eddie. They're folk singers, right? So they sing, and they sing just a regular folk songs on here. There's a Meeting Tonight, Drinking Gourd, Lonesome Traveler, Scarlet Ribbons, Kisses Sweeter Than Wine. That kind of just early 60s folk music, and they sound great. This is the record's beautiful, right? And it sounds good. And they're just really, really good singers. So I've been listening to this today while I was sitting here working, so excellent record. I highly recommend it on the Crescendo Records and Joe and Eddie. This next one's really good too. This is Peter and Gordon, right? You know Peter Asher. You know his story, right? Peter Asher, his sister Jane Asher used to date Paul McCartney back in the 60s, right? And Paul McCartney actually lived with the Ashers for several years during the 60s. So this was his band, Peter and Gordon, and they had that hit World Without Love, which was a Lennon and McCartney song, big super smash. And then this album has 2 Lennon and McCartney songs on it that I've never heard of, right? I Don't Want to See You Again and Nobody I Know. Record sounds good, and the cover's brilliant, right? Don't you love that cover? Peter and Gordon. So highly recommend it. I'll put those cuts below. Dave Clark 5. The record sounds good. The cover looks great, right? You know, I'm just not a Dave Clark 5 fan. The music is just really not very interesting to me. But I did put Your Turn to Cry on my feed below. And you let me know what you think about the Dave Clark 5. They were rivals to the Beatles, but I don't see it. I don't see their music anywhere near as interesting. Even the early stuff, right? Not nearly as interesting as the Beatles. But here's a great one. Roy Clark Live. This must have been 1972. And I put below the Lawrence Welk Hee Haw Counter-Revolutionary Polka. They were conservatives, right? Roy Clark. But It's a great album. Roy Clark's a fabulous musician, and put that song below for you so you can appreciate it. But, because as one of my subscribers had said, it's, Lawrence Welk and Hee Haw were both canceled in 1971, and then Roy Clark wrote this in 1972, right? I liked Hee Haw. I liked the music in Hee Haw. I didn't like the jokes or anything, but I mean, when the musicians were playing, I was just totally tuned in. And Lawrence Welk was terrible, except, I've told you this before, I didn't like Lawrence Welk, but when Myron Florin used to come out with the accordion and do vocal and accordion, I was in there. Finally, we got a bunch of albums here that, it looks that these are Chad Mitchell Trio, right? I got the Chad Mitchell Trio, and I'm sure you're familiar with them, right? Chad Mitchell, and of course, there's a little bit of rock and roll history here, right? Chad Mitchell Trio, there's three of them now. Who's this guy, right? Well, that's Jim McGuinn, who was also later known as Roger McGuinn, and he founded the Byrds, and he played banjo with the Chad Mitchell Trio. And that was their first album, I think. And this one, I like this one. I like the cover, and this is their next album, right? Apparently, somebody gave away their Chad Mitchell Trio collection. This one, I don't know if you can see it. See that guy in the background on the banjo here? It's Roger McGuinn. So he appears on that album too. This is another good Chad Mitchell Trio album, right? And look, a beautiful cover, right? Absolutely beautiful cover. Perfect condition. The record sounds great. Love it. Here's another great one, reflecting the Chad Mitchell Trio. Again, the record's great, right? Good quality record, and it sounds good and nice. I'll put a cut below. This is their 1964 release. You can see here, they changed their name from Chad Mitchell Trio to Mitchell Trio, right? And this is a really good album. And I put on here the Alabama song, the Brecht Wheel song, off of this one. Interesting cover, too. I like the cover. I thought it was a pretty cool cover art. So anyways, they went from the Chad Mitchell Trio to the Mitchell Trio. And in 1965 or 66, where Chad Mitchell leaves, right? He leaves the band. What do? They're called Mitchell Trio, and the guy named Mitchell, well, just keep calling it Mitchell Trio and hire somebody else. And that's what they did. They hired somebody else, and they hired this chap here, John Denver. And this is actually a great record, too. I listened to this record a couple times. And John Denver sings Mr. Tambourine, Dylan's Mr. Tambourine Man. Brilliant. Except my copy skips. I was so mad. I'm gonna try. Maybe I'll clean it up. Maybe the good Lord will help us get Mr. Tambourine Man on here. But anyway, the Mitchell Trio with John Denver. Of course, John Denver would be the most famous of the Mitchell Trio folks. So anyways, got some 45s. I'll do those right quick and get out of your hair. First one, War. The World is a Ghetto. Love War. Lee Oscar, the whole gang. War. Great. I liked the Eric Burden days. I liked the other stuff that they did. I remember I had Why Can't We Be Friends on 45 when it first came out. So next is After Midnight, J.J. Cale. Is this upside down? It's hard to see with the camera there. No, that's upside down. After Midnight, J.J. Cale. Of course, Eric Clapton did this. J.J. Cale's great. I mean, I love all J.J. Cale. Absolutely brilliant. And that one sounds pretty good, too. Here's another great one is Love Train, the OJs. Who doesn't love the OJs? OJs did a great version of Bob Dylan's Emotionally Yours, too. And you can hear it, I guess you can hear any one of their greatest hits albums, and also hear it on the 60th Dylan anniversary, the OJs come out. This one is It Hurts to Want It So Bad. It Hurts to Want It So Bad, Mel and Tim Stax record. Good R&B record. I put it below. Kind of makes me cry a little bit. I teared up when I heard the song a little bit. But anyways, finally, and then I'll leave you guys alone for the rest of the year. Well, I don't know about that. But I'm Still in Love with You, Al Green. Who doesn't love the Reverend Al Green? He's a great soul singer, and for an R&B, his music's different. He's not the typical Stax, typical Motown. It's not any of that. It's such a unique sound that Al Green had, and I really like it a lot. So I was happy to come upon original 45. This is from 72 or whatever. But anyways, those are our fives for this week. So we'll probably talk to you next week or as soon as I can. We'll talk some more about some more stuff and more stuff I find here in the bargain bin. Anyways, talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye.